The uns. Welcome to our all legendary up to Pokemon Legends Arceus tier list. This is going to be for legendary Pokemon and mythical Pokemon and Ultra Beasts, because Ultra Beasts are technically legendary Pokemon. So, all legendaries, all mythicals, all Ultra Beasts. I don't know, there's some forms, I guess. So, I don't know. I think this is the best tier list out here. Spoiler, there's no Arcanine on this list, even though Arcanine is the legendary Pokemon. I do like this list because it goes in Dex order. So we at least start with the Gen 1 legendaries first. I'm going to skip the Galarian. We're going to start with Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres. Articuno being my first ever legendary Pokemon. I'm going to put Articuno on an A. I think Articuno's pretty great. Ah! We got it! Wait, rigged? Articuno is a solid A. Okay, so here's why. First off, this is my list. It's A for Articuno. A for Articuno. Secondly, let me tell you why it's A. I got a reason, right? I'm not one of these YouTubers that are just like, Mewtwo's A because, you know, he's Mewtwo, and then they move on with the next Pokemon. It's Mewtwo, right? Like, I can tell you why Articuno is A. I was in the Seafoam Cave, first Pokemon game, Pokemon Blue. I was exactly 10 years old. I got Pokemon Blue and a Game Boy Pocket for Christmas that year. Prior to that, I had the original fat Game Boy. And then I had like Kirby and I had Donkey Kong. I really wanted Pokemon. That year, my parents got me Pokemon Blue. They got my sister Pokemon Red because obviously blue is for boys, red is for girls. That logic doesn't hold up, but you know, in the 90s. And then I got a Game Boy Pocket. And I played through Pokemon. This was before the time of the internet, right? I mean, I'm sure the internet existed. We didn't own a computer. So I didn't have it. The only Pokemon reference I had was like the anime. I was like watching the anime. I was talking to other kids at school. There was a strategy guide, but I didn't get that until much later. So, of course, as a 10-year-old kid, I didn't read anything. I knew how to read because I was 10 years old, but I didn't read anything. So I'm going through Seafoam Cave, first time ever, have no clue what I'm doing. Going through Seafoam Cave, and I encounter a Golduck.
You what?
And I was like, dang, this Pokemon is tight, and I want it. And I'm throwing every Pokeball I have at it. I didn't know that Golduck was the evolution of Psyduck. I didn't put two and two together. I was dumb. The anime at this point never showed Golduck. We never see Misty's Articuno evolve, or Misty's Psyduck evolve into Golduck. I have no clue what this is. And I only have a couple Pokeballs left. And my Pokeballs aren't working. And my Great Balls aren't working. And I have the Master Ball. And I didn't know what the Master Ball did because I didn't read anything. So I just throw the Master Ball because I want this Golduck so badly. And then I catch it. And I'm like, heck yeah, I have this Golduck now. And then I leave the cave because I was like, oh, I need more Pokeballs and I need more, I need to heal. And I now have this Golduck on my team. And I come back in to the spot where I caught the Golduck. And like right off screen, all I had to do was take like 7 more steps and I would have saw Articuno, but I didn't because I was like, I caught the Golduck and then I escape roped out. At least for some reason, my 10-year-old brain knew what escape rope did, but I didn't know what Master Ball did. So I came back to the cave to explore it more, and then I found Articuno, and I knew it was special just because of like the music and everything. And eventually I caught it with an Ultra Ball, but it was like the worst like 3 days of my life because as a kid, like I was smart enough to save in front of it, and then I kept like resetting because I kept failing the catch, or like it kept knocking me out. So eventually I caught Articuno. So for me, Articuno's an A because it was my first legendary Pokemon, and I wasted my Master Ball 8 steps before it on a Golduck because I thought Golduck was really cool. Articuno still holds up being cool, Golduck not so much. That's why it's an A. Zapdos, I would say a B, and Moltres a C. I think Zapdos is cooler than Moltres is just bad. And I think part of the reason is they also do Moltres dirty. And like Articuno has its own like special location of the Seafoam Caves. And Zapdos has its own special location of the power plant. But Moltres, they're just like, we don't know. Put them in put them in Victory Road. Like you have to go through Victory Road. To be fair, you don't have to go through Seafoam Cave. You could technically fly to Pallet Town and go south. I don't like Moltres' design that great. Victory Road is a special place. It's okay. Zapdos is alright too. Zapdos is a bad shiny. Another copy. Whoa! Shiny Zapdos is hard to see. I mean, well, Moltres probably is the best shiny out of these three. Ooh! Whoa! We got it! Look at that bird! I don't know. This is this is my list. I don't have any good stories behind I know my mom. Here's my story behind Zapdos. My mom loves Zapdos for some reason. As for the other birds, I feel like they're all A's. I feel like they're just great. I feel like every one of these designs is just they're just very strong. I think they're great. I like the type changes. I like how Zapdos looks like a chocobo. I like how Moltres looks actually way cooler than Moltres. Articuno has like the X-Man Cyclops thing. That's his name, right? The Cyclops thing going on. I actually used Galarian Articuno competitively through Sword and Shield, and I liked it. I think they're all really strong. And I think part of why I really like them is that it goes back to this story of like getting Articuno for the first time. Like the little like clone puzzle you have to do for Galarian Articuno is really great. The like chase that you have to do for Zapdos is really fun. And the Moltres one is kind of bad. You just kind of wait in a spot until it flies over your head. That one's a little bad. But like I think like finding these three Pokemon, they did a really, really good job in the Crown Tundra 4. So they're pretty memorable. I think Mewtwo for me is also an A. And it's because if you go down to Mewtwo and then he turns into Yoshi and then I remember I barely remember the Yoshi rumor. There was something about like Luigi or Yoshi with Mewtwo. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I've always liked Mewtwo. I think they do Mewtwo pretty good in most of the movies. You guys don't remember? There's like a rumor where like if you go where Mewtwo is, and then like there was like a red and blue rumor of something like Mewtwo. It was either Yoshi or Luigi. I can't remember. I think Mewtwo is a really solid Pokemon. It was not born in the 90s. I guess, yeah, we're learning all the people. Yeah, there was a lot of red and blue rumors. Very true. I like the man-made created lore behind Mewtwo. Like, I do like that he was created in the lab. You know what? He's also pretty tight in Detective Pikachu. Also, just a nod right there. Mewtwo is just Frieza. This Mewtwo, though, I think is bad. I'm actually putting Mega Mewtwo X in D tier. I don't like him. I feel like they tried to, I feel like his skin comes off as like wrinkled, and it's just not great. Now Mew 3 is a solid I remember when they first showed this Pokemon and everyone was like, Mew 3. It just ended up being Mega Mewtwo Y. I like Mega Mewtwo Y a lot more. I like it way more than Mega Mewtwo X. But like the weird skin thing, also the toes are really weird on Mega Mewtwo X. But Mega Mewtwo Y, it has the GameCube handlebar, and that is alone above average. If we're saying C is average, the GameCube handlebar is pretty solid on Mega Mewtwo Y. I'm not a huge Mew fan. I know Mew is a lot of people's like #1 like mythical Pokemon. I remember Mew being at Toys R Us and me asking my parents to take me to Toys R Us to get a Mew, and they said no. and I don't think they fully understood what I was asking for, nor do I don't think they just understood like the concept of getting a digital Pokemon at a store on a Saturday. But I think Mew's like above average for me. Mew might be higher. Mew is good. Mew has a good shiny. Mew might be higher, but you know what ruined Mew for me? Is in Pokemon Unite, they gave Mew these huge shoes, and I was like, why are Mew's feet so big? And then I realized that Mew just has really big feet. And then I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like how big Mew's feet are. I think my best memory of Mew is the Pokemon Snap, where you have to like get Mew at the end. And I think if anything, that just made me hate Mew a lot, because that as a kid, that final level in Pokemon Snap was very hard, especially when you didn't have like a strategy guide to like figure it out. Okay, now we're to the legendary Raikou Entei Suicune. This is where I insert that that these are not dogs; these are in fact cats. I want to start off with the first one being an actual tiger, and because I actually paid attention in 4th grade, we learned that tigers are part of the felines, and this is indeed a cat. So even if you strongly believe the other two are dogs, why are we being disgraceful to the tiger on the team here? Fan-made name, Legendary Beast, but there's my cat argument. I think Raikou is a C. I think Entei is a C. I think Suicune is a B. I never had like an affinity for these. They're okay. I think the Burn Tower stuff is like all right. As a kid, I really subscribed to like 3 Eevees dying and then being reincarnated. There's like a episode of Pokemon Origins, is it? Or Pokemon Generations, where they like show yeah, this is a saber-tooth tiger. Yeah. Where they show like, it looks like 3 Houndours. Like they show silhouettes. They don't actually show like Eevees. I like that. I think the only reason these are slightly interesting to me is because of Ho-Oh. And Ho-Oh is like an S tier Pokemon. Ho-Oh being a phoenix and having the ability to like reincarnate other Pokemon and bring them back to life is 1,000,000% S tier. Like Ho-Oh's lore, its design is really good. It makes a rainbow. That's tight. Like Ho-Oh being a phoenix, I'm very into that. And as somebody who's grown up with Harry Potter, I thought the phoenix stuff was really cool, but Harry Potter's hot trash now. So Ho-Oh is the only phoenix I can actually gravitate towards. Ho-Oh also has a really cool mechanic normally in the Pokemon trading card game, where if you can, usually it's some sort of resurrection ability, where if like Ho-Oh is in your discard pile, you can like put it onto your bench, and then you can like take 5 energy out of like the discard pile and attach it. Usually it's like a B deck. It's never like an A or an S tier deck in the TCG, but it's still like a really fun mechanic. And I like that always in the TCG they stuck to like that resurrection thing. Also, I think Ho-Oh is pretty great in the movie where Pikachu talks, and like Ash dies in that movie, and then like Ho-Oh brings him back to life. Lugia to me is very C tier. I'm saying C is average, by the way. So we only have one below average. Ho-Oh is the guardian of the sea, yet he's not a water Pokemon. It's very confusing. He's like, pretty sure he's like psychic flying, right? I used to, so here's the thing. Hey, what's up, plus? As a kid, I always thought Ho-Oh was Lugia was significantly cooler than Ho-Oh. And then as I became an adult and my palate got more refined, I realized quickly that Lugia is not that great, and Ho-Oh is actually the more interesting one. But it's fine. It's fine. Like I was a silver and soul silver boy growing up, but now I'm a gold and heart gold kind of boy. I flipped on this. If this was like 22 years ago, I would have flipped these two. But yeah, Lugia's just not particularly interesting to me. There's a really cool Lugia card in the TCG. It was like Lugia, I think it was Lugia Ho-Oh Legends, where it was like 2 cards that you had to like put down at once. I also think Celebi is a solid C here. I'll give Celebi a B. I don't think Celebi is worse than Mew. I think they're on the same. I think time travel is really cool with Celebi, but I feel like they've never used it interesting enough. When the movie's like, okay. Good shiny though. You know what? No, I take it back. I'm putting Celebi in a C because I'll give you a reason why. I'm putting Celebi in C because they hype up Celebi in the Zarude movie. They're like, you're gonna get a shiny Celebi for like the Zarude movie, and like the entire time I'm watching the Zarude movie, slight spoilers for the Zarude movie, I'm thinking like, maybe like the family, like maybe that Coco cannot find his family and he's stuck with Papa Zarude because there's time travel involved. Spoiler, there is no time travel. It's just that Celebi doesn't show up because Celebi's upset that like the Pokemon in the forest are fighting, and Celebi only shows up when it's at peace, which has nothing to do with time travel, which is Celebi's entire gimmick is time travel. So I'm like, maybe the parents accidentally time travel. Maybe they're in the past, maybe in their future. Maybe that's why the little kid is stuck with the Zarude. Nope, nothing to do with that. It's just like, Celebi just shows up when everyone's being nice. And he only shows up, spoiler again for the Zarude movie, he only shows up for maybe 5.8 seconds at the end of that movie, and he just like flies over. And then that's it. That's why I moved him from B to C. I'm very satisfied with that now. Hey, what's up, Panda? The Reggies. I feel like I can make the case for the Reggies being S tier just based off of the sound, the like the sounds alone for the Reggies would probably be S tier. They're really great. But if I have to if I have to actually place them, I think they're all just average. Like if I was to real, like I don't think one is better than the other. I think they're all pretty average. They would probably be below average if it wasn't for the noises they make. Registeel is like I agree. I feel like Registeel is slightly better. But yeah, the sounds they make are really what like keeps them from being below average. The way you encounter them in Gen 3, see, I don't have. If I played Gen 3 when it came out, as of like I would have been 14 or 15. I probably would have them higher, but I never had that experience like I did with the Articuno I told earlier. The first time I collected the Reggies were like I think Gen 5, which is kind of similar. They had like a small puzzle in Gen 5 for the Reggies. I think it was Black 2 White 2 that had that. Latios. I don't love these Pokemon either. Gosh, we're gonna have like a lot of C's. I don't love these Pokemon either. I think what they do in like the TCG, where they always make like very cute cards with these, is great. And I think for the most part, when they have merchandise with Latios, I think they're pretty okay too. But I don't have like an affinity for these. They're like they were good competitively back in like Gen 3 or Gen 4 if I remember correctly. And sometimes they have like okay TCG cards. I don't even think the movie makes them cooler. I guess the movie doesn't hurt them. But the movie doesn't make them cooler. If C is average, it makes sense to have a lot of C. The Megas though, I guess the Megas are like slightly cooler, but I don't know if they're cool enough. You think the Megas ruined their design? I think they're slightly cooler as Mega. And I like riding on them in auras. I don't know if they ever had Megas in the anime. If they did, I kind of wish I knew that because I feel like that would... Really? Twitch chat doesn't like the Megas? I feel like Twitch chat would be opposite of me, where they would say like the Megas are better. They have an ugly green color when they're shiny. I'm pretty okay with the Megas, honestly. The Megas make them worse? No, I'm pretty alright with the Megas. I don't know. I feel like I'm usually the one that hates Megas. I'm usually very against Megas, and you guys are like, nah. I'll keep them at B for now. I'll have to think about this. I'll keep them at B. Groudon and Kyogre. Do I think Groudon and Kyogre are on the same tier? I think Groudon and Kyogre are pretty like A tier, right? I think they're pretty A. They're super overpowered, and they're very dominant competitively. With Precipice Blades and Origin Pulse. With like Drought and Drizzle. They're pretty powerful. But I think that's okay. I like the concept, and I like the lore behind these two Pokemon. Like I guess like I can't really tell you like the lore here between Latios, besides they're just like dragons in love. That's pretty good. But like this, like removing all the water from the world with Groudon and making the entire world water with Kyogre, I really dig that. I think that's really, really cool. I think they're great that way. I think their designs are great as well. I think their designs are really strong. I don't really care so much for the primals. I'm gonna put them in B. I do like how Groudon becomes fire type when it becomes primal. And I do like the like intense sun, intense rain gimmick that they have. But like, their primals are fine. I think Kyogre's primal is like slightly better than Groudon's. But also these aren't Megas, which is a little weird. Rayquaza I would usually put like much higher. But I don't know. I think Pogo really burnt me out on Rayquaza. I'm going to put Rayquaza in a B. He's above average, but I don't think he's as strong as Kyogre and Groudon. I think he's like a weird third one. You know what I also didn't like? I also didn't care for the Zinnia storyline in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I thought that was so... like a lot of Pokemon has you like walking from point A to point B and like, go here, battle this person. All right, go here, battle this person. But man, that Zinnia storyline felt like such a drag. The amount of times I had to go back and talk to like the commander dude not the commander dude, the mayor guy, and have him like give me a letter and like go back and then go back and talk to him again. It was a lot. And like climbing the tower to get to Rayquaza at the end was like not fun at all either. I guess the only Rayquaza trying to break the dome in that Pokemon movie was pretty sweet. I was pretty into Rayquaza trying to like destroy the dome. And that had like the hot dog cart. Mega Rayquaza, probably the same. I don't think much changes here with Mega Rayquaza. It's like fine. Like I think it doesn't. I think it looks cooler than Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre. But I don't think it looks cool enough for me to put into A. Jirachi, S tier. Jirachi's tight. The movie, bad. The concept behind Jirachi, good. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, but Jirachi has a whole eyeball on his stomach. Like, that's like the one good thing about the movie is that eyeball just opens up and you're like, what is happening? I also don't think Jirachi talks in that movie. I can't remember it though. There's a giant mechanical Groudon in that movie. For when I got married, I got all of my groomsmen gifts. I got them multiple gifts, but one of the gifts in their package was a little Jirachi pin. I got everyone Jirachis, because Jirachi's the Wishmaker Pokemon. So to me, it was like kind of like wishing everyone like happiness and good luck. And because I like Jirachi so much, I thought, like, out of all the Pokemon to, like, give, I think Jirachi on my wedding day is, like, appropriate to that. Not Golduck or Articuno. Yeah, it has a hidden eye on its stomach. Like, its stomach opens up, and there's, like, a whole eyeball on its stomach. Also, fun fact about Jirachi is when people are like, they put Mew on a $50 Pokeball Plus that you have to buy. They put Jirachi on a bonus disc for a pretty bad game. I will stand by Coliseum and Gale of Darkness being pretty bad games. But even if you like them, that's fine. But you had to, like, know a friend or go out and buy a $60 game to then get Jirachi. And to be fair, you get as many Jirachi as you want on the bonus disc. But there was no way to get Jirachi for like 12 years in the United States besides that bonus disc. That was it. You had to, like, have a friend that had that bonus disc. Maybe it was 10 years, 20, or maybe 12. You had to have a friend that had that bonus disc, or you had to have the bonus disc, or you had to met a person who had a friend who had the bonus disc that you could trade. There was a lot to, like, Jirachi being a very, very rare Pokemon for a long time. They've done a lot of Jirachi things since. So, but back in the day, woo, good luck. There should probably be, like, some sorting of Deoxys here. Like, I don't think I like a form of Deoxys better than another form. I mean, if I was, like, really into Pokemon Go, I'd maybe put Defense Deoxys, like, super high. To me, I think Deoxys is just like a B. Like, I do think Deoxys is cool coming from space. I think, like, it changing forms is really cool. I think Deoxys usually in movies is pretty great. I don't think a form is better than another form. I think they're all pretty equal to me. Maybe if somebody, like, really likes speed, they'd put speed higher. I don't know. It's kind of like Rotom. It'd be hard for me to pick, like, a favorite. Well, I can actually pick a favorite Rotom. I take that back. Deoxys, though, I don't think I could pick a favorite Deoxys. I think Deoxys is cool. Maybe it'd be higher if that Zinnia quest wasn't so garbage. Yeah, you do get a Deoxys in the Delta episode, but okay, so we have Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf. Unlike half of you, I actually remember their names. I think the Lake Spirits are kind of garbo. The only one being pretty good is Uxie, and then the other two being, like, pretty average. Actually, I would do this. I take this back. I said, yeah. I think Uxie is great because it has, like, a big brain. But these two are I don't know. I felt like they could have done more with them. I think you know what slightly saves them is how they used them in Legends Arceus. I think how they used them in Legends was probably the best they've ever used them, and they were only like 15 years too late on that. I don't know if they were in a movie. If they were in a movie, I don't remember seeing it. If they were in the anime, I don't remember seeing that. I remember them being very tight. It took me hours to complete the Delta. It was long and boring. I agree with you, Mystic. I don't think they're particularly great. Okay, we have Dialga and Palkia. This is tough. Okay, I'm just going to do this first. Okay, now we have Dialga and Palkia. I think these are our A-tier Pokemon. I think they're... I think Dialga and Palkia are actually really cool. Again, great lore. Just like how Groudon and Kyogre are like sun/land, rain, and water. I love the time and space lore that Dialga and Palkia have. I think they're very great. I think they're interesting competitively. I think their fusions are pretty strong too. What are these are origin forms, right? What are we calling these? Origin forms, correct? I would also say their origin forms are A tier as well. I really like the centaur thing going on with Palkia. And I really like the weird like techno future thing going on with Dialga. But I really like what they did here. I think these designs are great. I think they stand out. I played Pearl for the first time, so I have an affinity to Palkia here. My Dialga love went up when we found that game at a used game store, and it was like, I don't remember what the dude's name was. It was like Tobias or something, and he had like this really weak team, and he had Dialga, and it was very obvious he never beat the Elite Four, but he saved right in front of the Elite Four. So I just imagine how many times he lost the Elite Four and then decided to give up and then trade his game in, and then like. Because I always liked Palkia more than I liked Dialga, but playing that dude's beating the Elite Four with that dude's team, he had like Dialga and like Infernape and like a couple other like Staraptor or something. I have a small place for my heart for Dialga though. I do again, but I like the space and time theme. I like that going on. Heatran's a solid F. I don't think there's anything here. Regigigas is just a C. Although I respect the heck, I love that like how there are no abilities in Legends Arceus except for Regigigas. I'm very into the fact that they stuck it to Regigigas in that game, and they were like, no one has abilities except for you. You still have slow start. I was very into that. Also, Regigigas players in Sword and Shield, if you're playing Regigigas and Weezing, you're the worst type of player.
If you're playing Regigigas Weezing competitively in VGC, you're probably the same person in Pokemon or Magic the Gathering that is playing a mill deck or like a lock deck, and like you're the opponent sitting across from you who can't do anything because you're playing some sort of mill/lock deck, and you're the person that's like playing it, and you're like, are we having fun? When you know 100% the person across from you is not having fun. There is no fun that person is having. Like you are just like pouring salt in the wound, playing that kind of deck, and then having the audacity to ask the person, are you having fun? If you're playing Regigigas Weezing, you are that person. You know the other person's not having fun. That's why you're playing Regigigas Weezing, because you too also hate fun. That's why you're playing that. That's why you're playing those Pokemon.
No one likes Regigigas Weezing. All right, we have a very important question, and I need your help for the YouTube video chat. I need you to type either feet or no feet for the this is very important for Giratina. Are we team feet or are we team no feet? Because there's one correct answer. That's true. There's no feet on Twitch. Wow, there's a lot of you saying no feet. I think you guys are wrong. I think Giratina with the feet is like A, and Giratina without the feet is B. I think some of you guys are wrong. I think Giratina with the feet is significantly better. Competitively, I'm pretty sure the no feet is better, but I like Giratina with the feet. Like I like him firm on the ground. He's more intimidating that way. No? How many gift subs to get no feet higher? I want him firm on the ground. I think he's way more intimidating with the feet on the ground because he has these huge wings as opposed to these like little kite banners he has like flying around but like behind him. I think that I can't even remember which one is Origin. I think this one is way creepier and way more intimidating. This one is the Origin form though, right? I think. I can't even remember which one. No feet is Origin. Yeah, no feet is Origin. I think this one is way more intimidating. Cresselia is D. Cresselia is D purely based on competitive. This is going back. Okay, first off, Cresselia is a Moonduck or a Goose or whatever. But like, if you're playing Cresselia in VGC, again, these are my experiences. You're playing Trick Room. I'm already upset, and you're 9 out of 10 times you're running Ally Switch. Like I want. I want nothing to do with you. I want nothing to do with you setting up Trick Room and then just running Ally Switch. Nah, not interested. Excuse me, I use Icy Wind. Okay, So we have Manaphy and Fione. This is the proper way to say Fione. I know some people say Fione or whatever. You're wrong. It's Fione. It's okay. I think the interesting thing about Manaphy is Manaphy is known as the Prince of the Sea. Prince being a male term, although Manaphy is genderless, but I suppose there's a lot of genderless Pokemon that they refer to as he. Cresselia is 100% female, interesting enough. I believe Heatran can be both male and female. There's a couple legendaries on here that can be male and female. Anyways, that's just your fun trivia. Fione is like... Fione to me is like C. Manaphy is C. I think they're both C. Manaphy and Fione, I think they're both C. I don't have... Like, that movie is bad, by the way. The Pokemon the movie, Ranger, Guardian of the... What is it? Something of the Sea. Guardians of the Sea. Guardians of the Sea. Gosh, what is the whole name of that movie? That whole movie's awful. Zacian is a sister despite being genderless. Yes. Yeah, that's a good one. We're not there yet, but yeah, they use the word prince for Manaphy, and then they use the word sister for Zacian. I just think that stuff is interesting. That's like we don't need to like overthink it. I just think it's like a fun like thing that they point out. They're fine. Have you done a movie ranking? I have. And if I remember, I'll put the little pop-up above my head so you can do the movie ranking. I think my movie ranking is very good. Yeah, I don't have a huge affinity to these Pokemon. This was like the like copy-paste Jirachi thing. They like, you had to buy a really bad spin-off game in order to get Manaphy for the longest time. Darkrai? S tier. Darkrai is one of the best mythical Pokemon ever. Darkrai is so good. He also has feet, by the way. He has great feet. He has the best feet. Also, I mentioned a lot of bad Pokemon movies. There are a lot of bad ones. But even though the Darkrai movie is bad, it is also good. Because the movie's premise is they're going to pin it all on Darkrai being a bad guy when the whole town was wrong and it wasn't Darkrai's fault. And they don't really do a good job at like... they don't really do a good job at telling that story. But they have a lot of great things going on. Like they have the one dude that turns into the Licky Licky, and that's pretty tight. But then they also go Darkrai multiple times in that movie. Also, Tobias has a Darkrai in the anime, and he crushes Ash with his Darkrai. How he got a Darkrai, no clue. Why Tobias isn't in the Masters 8, also no clue. But Darkrai is a tight Pokemon. Yeah, the Cresselia Darkrai connection, I understand it exists, but it doesn't do it for me. Maybe it's because they made Darkrai mythical and they made Cresselia like legendary. I don't know. That doesn't really do it for me. Okay, Shaman. This is easy. The deer is D. Sky form is bad. The hedgehog form, good. Hedgehog form is solid B. I don't care for the deer. I don't know what, I think that the hedgehog is very cute, very cuddly. Actually a hedgehog. It turning into, I think it's because it's smug. This smug deer, I don't know, he makes me kind of mad. What's up, Bob? Like, he just does, I like that he has a scarf. I'm into that. But I think that hedgehog is solid. I think like, hedgehog running through the world, having little flowers grow behind him. I'm very into that. Flying dog deer doesn't do it for me. Although, Shaman in the movie is straight up rude to Ash, and that's probably why I put Shaman as a B. Cause the sassiness of Shaman is why it's not in why is he in B tier, not in C tier. Like he is straight up rude to Ash. I'm very into that. Okay, Arceus. Arceus is okay. I think it's a pretty solid design. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I like the fact. I like the fact that Arceus establishes some overall like mythology / lore of it being like the god of the universe. I think with the amount of Pokemon, like establishing like a god Pokemon, I think is fine and appropriate. Arceus being based off like a llama or deer or something. I think it's Hindu. It's based off of, or Hindi. I'm pretty okay with all of that. I will say the Arceus movie is pretty solid. I didn't hate its voice. I thought it was pretty straightforward. It like had a straightforward like story that was easy to understand. Unlike the Darkrai movie, which didn't really make any sense. Like it kind of made sense, but like barely. I don't like love it though. I think there's cool things they do with Arceus. I think the Arceus stuff in Legends is really well done. It's just like okay, right? Like everything about it is fine. Like there's nothing really I can say bad about Arceus. It just like kind of exists, and yeah, like I don't hate it, I don't love it. It's just like slightly above average Pokemon for me. I know some people don't like the god stuff they did with it, but like it doesn't really bother me. I think it's great. What's up, Rick? Victini? S tier. I like everything about Victini. I like that it's the victory Pokemon. I like that it brings victory. It has a really cool mechanic in the TCG where it always like lets you reflip coins. It's almost always its gimmick where it's. And I used to play a lot of decks in the TCG and enjoy like require a coin flip, and so Victini being able to reflip that coin, like Victini is rocks. It's cute. It looks good. I'm pretty sure it doesn't talk in the movie. Although I remember seeing that movie in theater, but I think that movie focused more on Zekrom and Reshiram. I know Victini was there. I don't remember it talking though. Fire Psychic, that's a good type. A lot of people are gonna like. I don't care that much, but I remember how people are like, they just hand out mythicals left and right nowadays. But people will reference the Victini thing in Pokemon Black and White. So if you guys don't remember, when you bought Black and White back in the day, at the same time of purchasing it, you would get a card from GameStop, and on the card would be Victini. You would go into Mystery Gift, you would enter the code, and then once you got past, I believe, the second gym in the big town, which I want to say Celesteela, that's a Pokemon. I can't remember that town in Unova. But anyways, the big town, you would then, Castelia, you would then take a boat to the island, to Liberty Island, to get Victini. And that boat would only work if you had the code, and that was like a really cool way for people to get a mythical Pokemon. Although the downside to that is if you didn't get the game right away within like the first 3 months, you would have no way of getting Victini. So like people will like remember that. I don't think that's a great way to do mythicals. I actually think, in my opinion, the way they did Keldeo in the Crown Tundra, I think is much better than so a way to get a mythical than like a limited run mythical, if that makes sense. Like I guess I would also argue like Deoxys was probably a better way to get a mythical, even though because you have to go through a lot to get Deoxys. But yeah, I think Keldeo was a better way to get a mythical than the Victini, because the Victini was time limited. So a lot of people didn't experience that if you didn't play or buy Black and White back in the day. Okay, Swords of Justice. Man, I like the Swords of Justice. Okay. First off, my favorite Swords of Justice. Terrakion. And then Virizion and Cobalion, I'm going to put them at B. I actually think these are above average. I like the Musketeer trio. I like Terrakion the most. One is because he has a K-Kona voice in the movie. He's like, "Hey, Keldeo, let's go to the farm and get a Coca-Cola." I'm very into that voice. Like his voice, it's perfect. It fits him. I'm very into it. I bought a Coca-Cola as soon as he said that. I will stand on the hill that I think that Kira movie is very good. I think it's rock solid. I personally didn't see Cobalion as the leader of the three, although the movie makes it that way, which I guess is fine. But I'm very into the Swords of Justice. I think they're great. Going back to the Crown Tundra, I like what they did with them in the Crown Tundra. I got no complaints there. I'm going to use this opportunity, though, to grab Keldeo, because Keldeo is the 4th member of the Swords and Justice. They have 2 forms. I don't personally see a big difference between the 2 forms here. Like, one's Resolute form. But I think Keldeo, for me, is also a B tier. Not as cool as Terrakion. Also, going back to Terrakion, he has a really great TCG card. There was a deck back in the day. So when the black and white TCG set, Terrakion had the ability, had a move called Retaliate, and it would do 30 damage with 2 energy. But if a Pokemon just got knocked out, it would do 120 damage for 2 energy, which was really strong back in the day. I know, back in the day. And what people would do is they would run 4 Terrakion. That was the only Pokemon they would run. And then they would run 4 Crushing Hammers, 4 Enhanced Hammers, and then like all energy. And it was such a simple deck. But like you would always and they would run like 2 or 3 what were they called, like fishermen or something. They would ultimately get Pokemon out of your discard pile and put them back into your bench, or not into your deck, so you could get more Terrakion, so you get more than 4 after they got knocked out. But you would just be doing 120 damage nonstop because they would retaliate you, and then you would slow them down by using Crushing Hammer or Enhanced Hammer. And it was actually like a really solid deck. But also during that format, you could put Terrakion in other fighting decks because Retaliate was so strong as a move. So like, I don't think Cobalion and Venusaur ever saw like a lot of competitive play in TCG, but Terrakion saw a lot because of Retaliate. So that also gravitates why Terrakion is a little bit higher. No worries, Mystic. As for the genies, I don't like calling them genies. The Dijin or whatever, Dijin, which I guess is technically genies. I don't know what to do here. I have thoughts. There's a lot of them. I'm gonna put Landorus in A. I'm gonna put Thundurus in B, and I'm gonna put Tornadus in C. I think that's how I would do it. You don't pronounce the D. Is it just Jin? And then I think the bird form is D. I don't like how thick it is. I don't like its thighs. I do think this one's slightly cooler. And I am honestly gonna put this one in S tier. I think dog Landorus. Also, it's not a dog, it's a tiger. I'm pretty sure Landorus is based off a white tiger. But Landorus with the legs, very good. Very annoying competitively. Oddly enough, I know Landorus is incredible competitively. I actually don't like using Landorus. I don't like in Sword and Shield, it was like usually you ran Earthquake, you would run Fly. You would run like 2 other moves, like Protect or something else. But it was almost always Fly and always Earthquake. Fly, obviously, for max Airstream. I didn't love fighting Landorus competitively, and I didn't like using Landorus competitively. But man, I do like Landorus dog form, white tiger form. Actually, I'm moving this down. I take this back. I don't think this is A. I think I'm strongly into this S, and these are just B. I don't like he just reminds me. I don't know. He reminds me of like KFC. If KFC's colors were green and purple. This one's weird to me. Also, this one's weird to me too. I just, when I see it, I just think of KFC. I don't know why. I can't explain that part. Reshiram and Zekrom. These are easy A's. This is just super solid Pokemon designs. I think there's a theme with this list where I like love when they get the lore correct. And they do it again here. Very easy A. The thing about if you didn't play Gen 5, the thing about that is like one game is based off truths and the other game is based off ideas. So truth versus idea. That's like the theme they have going on. It's not always black and white. Sometimes your heart knows what's right. It's not whether you win or lose. It's the path you choose. Let your journey begin. Pokemon. I think these are great. This is when they introduced Shiny Lock, which people are upset about, but these Pokemon are Shiny Locked for the first time. Okay, so I can't really talk too much about them without Kyurem, and Kyurem is also A tier. First off, Kyurem's great in the movie. Secondly, Kyurem is great because it's asymmetrical. So if you don't know what that means, it means that like half of its body does not look like the other half of its body. So he has this huge wing on the right side of his body, or maybe the left side. I guess it depends on when you're looking at. If you're looking at him, it would be the right side. And on the left side, he has like this tiny broken wing. And if I remember the lore correctly, it's because Kyurem is the husk, is the like leftover from when these two separated. So then when they merge back together, you get Black Kyurem and you get White Kyurem, and they're just not as cool. Like Black Kyurem, White Kyurem to me are like average. They're like fine. I think they're great designs. I like, yeah, the yin and yang. I like the yin and yang. Yeah, I like the truth. I like the idea. I like the yin and yang. I like the husk of Kyurem. When they merge together, they're just like, yeah, they're fine. Like, they make sense visually. You're like, yep, this looks like Kyurem and Reshiram merged together. This looks like Kyurem and they... I didn't love them, though. I was just like, oh, yeah, they're fine. Yep, okay, that makes sense. Cool. Meloetta is probably a B for me. I like that Meloetta actually has like a headset on. I like the flowers. I can't remember what this one's called. Resolute form? Ballet form? I don't remember what this is called. I think they're both Bs. Like this turns into like a fighting Purette form? Oh, Purette form. Aria form and Purette form. There you go. I think it's a cool mythical. There's probably a movie with Meloetta in it. If there is, I haven't seen it, so I haven't really seen Meloetta. I think it's in the anime too. I think it's in regular TV. But I haven't seen much of its movement. So my knowledge is just in game, and like TCG cards, which I don't even remember a TCG card that stands out competitively to me. Genesect is S tier. Genesect, another man-made Pokemon. I'm very into that, as we talked about in Mewtwo. Genesect, in the movie, I think the Genesect movie is good. I don't think it's great. I think the Genesect movie is good. I like how there's like 6 Genesect. I like how there's a shiny Genesect. I like how there's a baby Genesect. At one point, Ash gets on the baby Genesect and tries to ride him like a skateboard. And that was like really awkward, but like awkward in a pretty good way. If I remember correctly, the shiny Genesect is the leader, and he's like super rude and mean. That's pretty great. But I think Genesect's a cool Pokemon. If I was to complain about Genesect, is like I don't really care about the drives, like the Ice Drive, the Frost Drive, the Chill Drive, the Electric Drive. Like that stuff doesn't really do it for me. I actually also think it's our only bug mythical Pokemon. I don't think there's any other bug mythical Pokemons. I think it's Bug Steel, if I remember correctly. But I think Genesect's pretty strong. I'm not a huge bug person. Like, a lot of my favorite Pokemon are not bug. But if I was to pick a favorite bug, it'd be Genesect, for sure. Xerneas and Yveltal. Oh boy. I liked X and Y a lot. I feel like on the box, but they don't do it for me. I almost want to say that these are average. Maybe Yveltal a little bit higher. No, I think they're both average. The flower cannon Lysander thing, the being inside the tree, the being inside the cocoon, it doesn't, like, life, destruction, none of it does it for me. Xerneas at the end of New Pokemon Snap was great. I will give you that. That was a very nice surprise. I hate fighting both of these Pokemon competitively in the TCG, or in the VGC. I don't think either of them are fun to fight against or use. I also think Xerneas in the TCG was also garbage to fight about. Yeah, Yeah, but these don't really do it for me for like box legends like the other ones do. To be fair, I haven't seen the movie. There's like 3 Pokemon movies I haven't seen, and the one with these 2 I have not seen. I will say that we have Zygarde. So let's do the first base Zygarde. I think Zygarde is a solid B. I think he's much better than the other 2. I do like its design. Obviously, they did him a disservice in X and Y because he's just in a cave at the end. But I think he's really cool. Now we have Power Ranger Zygarde, and that's a solid A. And even though the Magearna movie and the Volcanion movie is so bad, spoiler for my list, I'm pretty sure I put that in F- tier because I cannot stand the Volcanion movie. But there's a point in that movie where all the Zygarde cells come together, and it's like 6 seconds long, and we get Mega Zord Zygarde, and it is the coolest 6 seconds of that entire movie. It is so well done. It is so great, and then it ends, and that movie goes back to being trash. But like, I like the Power Construct. I think Power Construct is its ability. I like this gimmick of Zygarde. I think it's way more interesting than the fusion stuff they do here. Also, Dog Zygarde is also a solid A because he's just a dog. I think this is 50% for him, if I remember correctly. There is no Zygarde cell on this list. Yeah, there's no Squishy. We're missing Squishy. If Squishy was on here, he'd probably be an A. Squishy's pretty great. I think that big Zygarde is really great. Squishy is not a Squishy is a Pokemon. He's a Zygarde cell. What is this? Deoncé? No, this is Mega. Okay, so Deoncé's right here. Just did like a D tier. It's fine. It's below average. The only thing that stops it from being F for me is that it has like that Carbink lore. I just have nothing. I have no affinity to it. There's nothing. It's cool in Pokemon Snap. That's probably what I would say. Like it has a really cool Pokemon Snap thing. The Mega, again, like nothing really to it. It isn't. Why I don't know. There's just I don't love it. I see. I actually like Magearna more. We're not there yet. Hoopa is weird. Hoopa's like D tier though, right? And like this Hoopa is like F. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. There are qualities of Hoopa I like. And I like that anything that happens in the Pokemon world can just be summed up by Hoopa opening a portal. Like, if there's something happening, you can just be like, Hoopa did it. And it makes sense. Because, like, Hoopa can do Hoopa can do what he wants with the portals. You need a time travel, you don't have Celebi, that's okay. Don't worry, Hoopa can figure it out. You need 8 Rayquazas to show up right now? Don't worry, Hoopa can make it happen. You need Ash to go to a different dimension? We don't know how you got there. I do. It was probably Hoopa. Like, Hoopa can usually sum up any... What's up, Inferno? Hoopa can usually sum up any plot hole in any Pokemon thing. I still don't know what's happening here. Also, when this thing, like, uses its Unite move, I still have no clue what this thing does. It had a distribution at McDonald's. That was cool. Volcanion is an F tier. We'll move past that right now. Okay, so Type Null. People forget that Type Null is a legendary Pokemon. I actually think Type Null is a solid B. I like the concept. Okay, so Volcanion's bad because of the movie. I actually thought Volcanion was really cool until the movie came out, and then that movie did the opposite of how I feel about Volcanion. Also, they've never released Shiny Volcanion, except in the TCG, there is a Shining Volcanion in that, but there's not in the game without X. I like the Chimera thing they're going for with Type Null. Very into that. Again, man-made Pokemon. I like that the helmet is suppressing the power, and then when the helmet comes off, it evolves into Savali, I don't think Silvally is as interesting as type Null. I think they started off really strong with type Null, and then Silvally kind of drops the ball. Like, it still has the Chimera stuff. And it still has, like, we're trying to make this Arceus. I don't know if more trivia. I'm sure most people know this, but I guess if you don't know this, you can comment, like, subscribe on the YouTube video. But Silvally's ability is the RKS system because it's based off Arceus. So, because they tried to create a man-made Pokemon based off the god of Pokemon, its ability is the RKS system, which is Arceus, which is how you say Arceus. So I think that's really, really cool. I think design-wise and, like, I think they started off stronger, and then Silvally kind of felt like a flop to me. Okay, we have the Tapus. We have Tapu Koko, Tapu Lele, Tapu Bulu, Tapu Fini. I think Koko is a A. I think Bulu is a B. I think Fini is a B. I think Lele is S tier. I think Lele is the strongest one. I think Koko is solid. I think Koko is great in the anime. Lele to me, I don't know why. I think it's TCG. Lele stands out to me because Lele had like a really, really good ability in the TCG or Pokepower. I don't remember. I think it was ability at the time. I like Lele's design. I like saying it. It has good mouth feel. You think Bulu should be lower? Bulu, you're right. Actually, yeah, you're very right. I think both Bulu and Fini are average. I think they're average. I think you're right. Hey, thanks, Inferno. I think Koko is very strong, though. Even if Bulu had play rough, still wouldn't be great. I don't love the mermaid design. I don't think I like mermaids. When I think Fini, I think Gorbis. I used Fini competitively, and I think Fini is strong competitively. No, I take that back. I can't stand hitting muddy water. Nah, it deserves C. Cosmog to me is a B. Cosmoem's F. I like Cosmog. I think it's great. I think its design is really strong. I like that it evolves into Solgaleo or Lunala. I don't know why Cosmoem needed to be there. I don't know. Maybe because I didn't watch enough of the anime, or maybe I played Sun and Moon like 3 times. I played Ultra Sun and Moon 4 times. I still don't know why Cosmoem needed to exist. I don't know why we needed a gas to go to a solid, to go to a bat, or to go to a lion. I feel like this is a waste of a Pokedex entry. I think this is the first time on the list I'm like, yeah, this is kind of a waste of a Pokedex entry. I don't know why we just don't go straight into Solgaleo or Lunala. Also, we were making jokes about it earlier that, like, Cosmoem is, like, the heaviest Pokemon tied with Primal Groudon and tied with Celesteela. All of them are considered the heaviest Pokemon. I just don't think there's anything, like, cool, you're, like, the heaviest Pokemon and you're, like, a middle evolution between the two, like... I'm not a huge fan. So, Galeo and Lunala taught me one important thing. And that was to never guess the types of unreleased legendary or mythical Pokemon. Because I think everyone in the world thought that Solgaleo, its name being Sol, was going to be a fire-type Pokemon. It's not. It's Psychic Steel. There's 0 fire about it. But, we all thought that, it was on the game of, it was Sun. Sun is made out of fire. I think it's a B. I don't think it's A. I think both of these are B. They're fine. They're above average. I think they're okay. I don't think they deserve any higher. I think they're okay here. I think they're a respectable B. Okay, we're getting to Ultra Beasts. I love Ultra Beasts. I think they're super great. Except for Celesteela, that's a solid D. I will never want to fight a single Celesteela in competitive. I think it has an okay design. It's like based off some Japanese novel. It's also tied heaviest with Cosmoem. They're both being 9. Like, The whole like leech seed spam, max airstream, Celesteela, no thank you. On the flip side, Pheromosa is a solid A, super great design. Like the concept behind like roaches being like really ugly and no one likes roaches, so they made like a very fancy like lady roach. Very into that. Same thing with Buzz.
Celesteela es basura.
What? Oh, Celesteela is garbage. That's my Spanish. Buzz, like mosquitoes being like these really tiny, annoying things, and they made like Buzzwole like this super like thick, muscly bodybuilder. I think these are just really, really fun, and I think like they're very creative and very good Pokemon. Like even though they wouldn't be like favorite Pokemons, I love like how fun they got with these designs, and they didn't go with like the stereotypical like, oh, mosquitoes are like these small things and like roaches are like these like brown ugly things. I really like, speaking of brown ugly thing, there's one right down here. Nihilego is like not as fun as these. Like jellyfish are like invasive species, so like understand why it's on the Ultra Beast list. I think Xurkitree is really fun, so Xurkitree goes back. I think when you go to Xurkitree's world and like it's just like running around and it's like prancing, like again, very fun. I think the Ultra Beasts are super interesting. Kartana, probably B for me. I don't think it's as fun as the other ones. I like the paper cut thing they're going on with that.
I cut a worthless object.
Guzzlord back to A tier. Guzzlord, when they think of Pokemon names, when they think of like Pokemon cries, and they're like, yeah, Scyther's gonna say its name. It's gonna go Scyther, Psy, and they're gonna be like, Geodude's gonna be like Geodude, and they're gonna be like Pika's gonna be like Pikachu, and then Squirtle's gonna be like Squirtle, Squirt. They were like, what should we do for Guzzlord? They were like, it could go like Guzz Guzz or like Guzzlord Lord, but they're like, no, way too on the nose. For Guzzlord, we're gonna make it scream like an old Japanese man. And that's what they did. And so if you watch the anime and you see Guzzlord, it just constantly screams like an old guy getting hit by a bus. And it's great. It's really good. Honestly, it's very close to putting Guzzlord in S tier here. But like, I encourage you all to like look up Guzzlord and like hear it scream and go, that doesn't seem right. No, that's right. That's exactly the cry they did for Guzzlord. Also, he eats garbage. That's cool. I'm very into that. Let's do Necrozma. I think for me, Necrozma is A tier. I think they do a good job with Necrozma at the end of Sun and Moon, where they talk about how like there might be another Ultra Beast, but it doesn't actually show up as an Ultra Beast. And when you try to use the Beast Ball on it, it doesn't work, and it doesn't have the ability Beast Boost. And there's like this mysterious lore of whether it's an Ultra Beast or not. I personally don't think it's an Ultra Beast because literally everything I just said. It does turn into Ultra Necrozma, which I think is like A tier here. I think both of these are great. As for Duskmane and Dawn Wing Necrozma, I like Necrozma taking over these two, but like they already did this with Kyurem. So they're like okay. I think they're B. I don't know if they're. I don't know what I would want them to do differently. I do like Necrozma's also the absence of light. I'm very into that. Yeah, I think they're above average. I mean, I like Necrozma a lot, so it would be very weird if I put them lower, because I do like Necrozma, but yeah, I think with where Solgaleo and Lunala are placed, I think that's fine. Okay, Magearna, I think Magearna's a little high. Well, Magearna I like better than Beyonce. I like that. I think I like Magearna because I like its like origin form, or it's like Pokeball form, or whatever it's called. It's original form, that's what it's called. I don't like how I have to explain to people multiple times that the Pokeball form, the original form that you get from Pokemon Home for having a complete Pokedex, is not a shiny Magearna. I feel like I have this conversation once a month that it's not shiny, but I do like that it has that form. Although Lily in the anime has a shiny Magearna just randomly in her house. That's weird. Marshadow is, for me, Marshadow's a B. He's in the movie. He's in the I Choose You movie. I feel like they could have done more with it. I do like the Fighting Ghost. I think he's pretty cute. He has a really good TCG card. I don't know if he's been in the anime since. He was also really good at the Mewtwo. Was it Mewtwo raids in Sword and Shield? Poiple? S tier. The reason that, okay, so first off, Poiple is a great design. Secondly, Poiple is a fantastic name for a Pokemon. It sounds like a little kid trying to say the word purple, but it's Poiple. I'm a sucker for James Turner's Pokemon. James Turner did Buzzwole, oddly enough. I believe he also did Pheromosa. He did Guzzlord. You can see those are all ranked pretty high. He also did Poiple on Naganadel. Naganadel I don't love as much. I think I'm saying Naganadel's name correctly, because it's supposed to be like a needle. But I think Poiple is the best Ultra Beast. I think it's really great. I think it's cute. I like how the Ultra Recon Squad have it. Stakataka, F tier. I don't like it. And it's probably purely competitive. I don't want the Rock Slide, Trick Room, Earthquake. It's not even that it's a thing of bricks. I can get past that. It just it just sucks. It's just not fun to fight against. I think it looks cool. There's nothing about it I really like. Yeah, I tried to use one competitively and it made me hate it more. I remember that, Volcanion. Blacephalon I do like. I think Blacephalon's a good B. Fire Ghost. I feel like people forget that it's Fire Ghost. I don't even know what Stakataka's signature move is. But I know Blacephalon's is like Mind Blown. So it like does a bunch of damage and then takes like 50% of its health. So it has like a cool ability. I'd like to see Blacephalon also had a really good TCG deck. Stakataka has no signature move. Oh, that's why it's in the F tier. Zeraora is like D for me. It does nothing for me in Unite. I don't think it had any good TCG cards. There was a cool raid event in Sword and Shield where like you had to defeat a bunch of Zeraora to get Zeraora distributed. I really like that. In the movie, it's actually terrible. It's very bad in the movie. There was a shiny Zeraora in the raid events that if you did it, it was stronger. You didn't get anything except more rewards. Like you couldn't catch it, but I did think that was cool. Other than that, like, Zeraora's fine. Meltan is an A. Meltan is a great mythical Pokemon. Its debut in Pokemon Go is really great. I can tell you a fun fact about Meltan. Meltan debuted in Pokemon Go after Chikorita Community Day. Now, if you know Chikorita's Pokedex number, you would know that it's 152. Meltan made its Pokemon main series game debut in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, where it appeared in the Pokedex after Mew, and its Pokedex number in that game is 152. I do not think there was a coincidence that out of all community days they picked, out of all of the days of the year they picked Chikorita's Community Day, which they both share the same Pokedex number of 152. And I do think that's relevant because most mythicals that appear in games do not get assigned a Pokedex number. They just appear without a Pokedex number assigned to them. So I think that's really interesting. Also, I think it's a great design. I really like it. I do like mechanical Pokemon. I also think Melmetal is really great. I think when it evolves is great. Wait, what? Meltan over Melmetal? I think they're both good. I don't really care about like I don't know. I guess this is average. Like it getting bigger with the like soup. It's fine. Like I don't think Gigantamax Melmetal like does anything for me. Like I guess I could put it in A, but like it's fine that it gets like really stretchy, I guess. But Okay, why are there so many legendaries and mythical Pokemon? Okay, we have Zacian. We'll do. I'm gonna do both because again, we have the regular form and then we have the form with the. I think this is called crown formed, where it has the rusted sword. We have regular form and then we have crown shield form. Or I think it's crown form again, where it has the rusted shield. For me, Zacian is S tier. It is literally a dog with a sword. It is fantastic. It's a great design. I love everything about it. Competitively, it's great. I haven't seen the anime, but I'm sure when it shows up in the anime, it's great. It was great in the main stories of the game. I'm very all about it. The one with the shield is like, okay, like B, above average. They messed up here. If you look at my list, Kyogre, Groudon, boom, Palkia, Dialga, boom, Reshiram, Zekrom, boom. I'm not putting these two together because I really think Zacian is just above and beyond what Zamazenta was. Zamazenta, good name, good mouthfeel. I like saying the words Zamazenta. I'm very into that. But I felt like there could be more with Zamazenta that Zacian just has. Zacian is just solid. Eternatus, I think, is rock solid. I like the big giant skeleton poison dragon. I'm very into it. I like the giant hand that it turns into. Is that a thing here? No hand. That's all right. If there was a hand, I'd also put it in A tier. I think the skeleton dragon is good. I guess I'm like slightly disappointed there wasn't a third dog. Based off like the rumors and the theories of like the color, the CMYK that they were doing. But that's okay. I think the dragon is great. Anyways, Kubfu. Kubfu for me is B, above average. I do like it. I think he's cute. I think he's great. I am such a sucker for Urshifu though. I think Urshifus are solid A. I don't really have a preference between them. I like that they're different. Obviously, we have rapid style and strong style. Wait, is that what they're called in the TCG? I think in the TCG they're called rapid style and strong style. I don't remember what. Oh, it's single strike and rapid strike. I think in the video game. Yeah, in the TCG it's strong. Yeah. I love Urshifu. I think they're great. I don't really for this I don't really care. Again, this is for me it's like like these are just average. Like they don't do anything more for me when they Gigantamax. I think their base forms are enough. It's cool that they have Gigantamax, but I think Urshifu is really fantastic. Zarude is like C. He's average. I think Zarude would be lower if it wasn't for the movie. I think all of the Zarudes interacting and like having different personalities and like having their conflict in the movie is great. I think if I didn't see the movie, I'd probably put Zarude lower. But I think the Zarude movie is really, really solid. Reggie Drago is like a B for me. I do think he's better than the other Reggies. But Reggie Eliki is S tier, baby. Eliki is so good. What a great Pokemon. Y'all were like, I hate Reggie Eliki's name. It should have been Reggie Electric or Reggie Volt. No, think Eliki. It's good. What a great Pokemon. Great speed, good competitively, cash register. Reggie Eliki is one of my favorite Pokemon. S tier, easy. Reggie Eliki is fantastic. What a good Pokemon. When you're playing competitive and you're like, what Pokemon should I have on my team? Reggie Eliki. What should it have? It doesn't matter. Just all electric moves, it's fine. Reggie Eliki is a fantastic Pokemon. What a good, I also kind of forget the Reggie part of Reggie Eliki, and when I'm like looking up Pokemon, I just type in the word Eliki. I think that just is more of a disservice to the other Reggies, but Reggie Eliki is actually fantastic. I love everything about him. All right, we have the horses. I like the horses. I think Glastrier, horses in the back, big ol' ice horse, A tier. I do like Glastrier. Spectrier I didn't like at first, but I've grown to like Spectrier. I don't like it as much as Glastrier. Spectrier to me is a solid B. I do like, I mean, everyone likes that its hooves like separate from its body. Yeah, they have really good plushes. They have really, really good plushes. That's true. But I like the ice horse a little bit more. I like the thick ice horse. Calyrex, I think, is an okay Pokemon. Yeah, actually, really I like the Calyrex storyline in Crown Tundra. To me, I put Calyrex on the same as Mew. I see them pretty. I don't think it's better than Mew or better than Suicune or anything. I think Calyrex is a solid B here. These, I don't even know how I rank these. Like them on the horse versus them not on the horse. Like Shadow Rider and Ice Rider. I think they're above average, but I don't see them any different than just Calyrex. Honestly, I think I did that though. Well, Giratina is like the one I think I separated. But yeah, Deoxys is all the same. And then we have Enamorus. We end with such a controversial Pokemon. For me, I think Enamorus is a solid B. And I'm going to put both forms up there where I separated the other forms. I actually really like the turtle form. I don't have any problems with it. I feel like the hate for Enamorus comes with the catching. Oh, I did separate Zapdos, you're true. But I actually made a really good, 45-second video on how to catch Enamorus very easily. So I feel like people hate Enamorus just because they struggle to catch it. But I do like the lore. So Landorus, Thundurus, and Tornadus, there are technically 4 of them, the 4th one being the turtle. And so them to kind of tie and wrap that up 12 years later, I think is great. They didn't need to, but they did. I feel like the design is not perfect, but it's okay. I felt like they kind of leaned into the pink a little too heavy here. They're like, it's pink, so it has to be pink and it has to have a heart. Yeah, I guess. You didn't really need to do that, but it's fine. There's something, sometimes I feel like they it's pink, needs hearts. It's fairy type, so we gotta double down on the pink. I feel like they went a little too much into that, which is why it's not an A tier. I think they went real deep in that, but that's fine. All right, well, here's your list. I'm pretty happy with it. We got 5 Pokemon in F tier. I pretty much stand by that. We have 3, 6, 9, 11 Pokemon in S tier. I mean, if I'm gonna actually move this around, I'm gonna put Regieleki number 1. But that's being where's Arcanine? But I think that's my list. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't know. We'll do another tier list eventually.